After discussing the marking of objects and substances, now we have grammatical marking of gender. A system of grammatical gender. Now that is also there in the English language. Every noun was treated as either masculine, feminine, or neuter. That existed in the old language or old form of English language. But now the preference is more towards gender neutral language, the use of gender neutral, where the noun needs not to be considered as a feminine noun or the masculine noun. English marks grammatical gender only in singular personal pronoun, for example, he, she, it. In contrast, other languages have much more extensive gender system. So as compared to English, there are languages which have a very extensive system of gender marking. For example, French. Every French noun is either masculine or feminine. So how to sort of determine or how to look at it or recognize that one has to memorize the masculine or the feminine noun which are there as the French noun. And one way of telling whether the noun is masculine or feminine, although not in all cases, is to look at the ending of that noun. And if it ends with A-I-R-A, which they pronounce as R, then the possibility is that it is a masculine noun. So now we will look at the differentiation in terms of marking gender as far as different languages are concerned. The first example that we have here is that of Spanish nouns that refer to males and in O, as in hermano or brother, and gato or male cat, and females and in A, hermana. In addition, many Spanish nouns are marked for gender even if there is no obvious semantic basis for it. So we have young children, they may use grammatical gender as a basis for classification at least some of the time. Now, the Spanish nouns which are marked for gender, even if there is no obvious semantic basis for it, for example, key, grapes, and table, are feminine in Spanish, and telephone, bucket, plane are masculine. It is clear that the gender system of English and Spanish are quite different. Then we have Sarah and colleagues who proposed that the French gender system is similar to Spanish based on the studies that they have conducted. In German, however, there are 3 gender categories. They have male, female, and neuter. German also differs from French and Spanish because German determiners mark case as well as gender. That is, the form of the determiner or article depends upon its syntactic or grammatical role in a sentence. For example, consider this. Now, considering this, you see that the German translation of the man in the sentence, the man scratched the cat, der Mann crashe die Katze, and the cat scratched the man. Look at the translation. Now, in French and Spanish, the man would be marked for gender only. And in English, the man would be marked for either gender or case. Now, in the study, the experiments told the children that they were thinking about making a movie. They presented objects to children and asked them whether it should have a woman or man's voice in the movie. Spanish and French-speaking children were more likely to assign voices on the basis of grammatical gender than were English-speaking children. Now, in contrast, German-speaking children were not as influenced by grammatical gender. The author suggests that the two-category gender system in Spanish and French may be more easily acquired by children and then extended to inanimate object. We have another study conducted by Schmidt and al. They studied individuals whose native language was either Spanish or German, but who also spoke English. Participants were asked to describe in English objects that they were either grammatically masculine or feminine in their native language. For example, key is masculine in German and feminine in Spanish. The results suggest that people thinking about objects is influenced by the seemingly arbitrary assignments of a noun to be masculine or feminine in one's native language. So in English, we find grammatical gender only in singular personal pronouns. On the other hand, gender system is very extensive with regard to Spanish, French, German.